What's going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of Finding Your Niche with Niche. This episode, I have to say, has been long awaited, highly anticipated for me.
100%.
Super excited to have this guy on today. I'm sure you're going to get more than enough gems to go off and be successful in your business if you have one today. Welcome to the show, Marquel Russell.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, the king of client attraction.
Absolutely.
That's you.
That's it.
So he's going to be on the show today to talk about that, how to attract clients. Speaking of how to do it, being good at it, finding your niche in it, you said you guys are over $500 million of client success stories?
That's correct.
What does that feel? How does that even feel to say that?
No, it's cool. It's still surreal because like 500 million, that's like a $500 million, right?
Right.
So it's like, it's crazy to see it. Because I think a lot of times, you know, in your early parts of business, you know, you want to make money. But then you start seeing all the success stories that come from it. That's really the thing that gets me most excited. More excited than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so really the cornerstone of this show is talking to people who've made strides in their niche, but really more specifically, you really kind of have like a rags to riches kind of story. Started from nothing and now started from the bottom and now we're here.
Right,
basically.
exactly. Absolutely.
And so can you talk a little bit about how you were able to navigate the idea of actually finding a lane and sticking to it, and how did you find this particular niche of client attraction?
Yeah, so basically it's been a journey, right? So I've been an entrepreneur my whole life.
Okay.
So I was the guy knocking on your door asking, can I take your trash out? Can I cut your grass? Got into school, you know, when you was in school, I was the guy who, I had the weed, so if people wanted to buy weed to smoke, I was that guy. So then I started elevating in the drug game, so that was kind of my thing. And then I started an entertainment company when I was in ninth grade.
Okay.
And basically, because I knew people who rap, I knew people who sing. I mean, not people who rap, people who did beats. So I started a label. I didn't do either, but I started a label, and it was called Get To It Enterprises. Okay. So I literally signed them to my label. So I was kind of like, okay, how do I maneuver this? So I did that. Didn't really know anything about the music business, but I did that. Then that continued to grow, and we went into, we started doing artist management, club promotions, all that. So I'm in the streets during the day, and then I'm doing artist stuff, you know, in the evening.
Yeah.
Right? So while in the club one night, I get introduced to network marketing. And I didn't know it was
in the club?
Marketing. Yeah, in the club. It's crazy.
Okay.
I didn't know it was network marketing. I had never heard of it. The only thing I had heard of that was similar was Kirby.
Okay.
You know what the Kirby vacuums are?
Yeah.
So I sold Kirby's at one point too.
Wow.
So while in the club, this dude pitches me on network marketing. He invites me to a meeting. We went there like Wednesday. I saw the thing. We jumped into it. And they didn't really teach marketing though. They just taught how to talk to your friends and family and all that.
Yeah.
But where I'm from, my friends and family are not really interested in like doing legitimate business.
Right.
Or I'm not gonna bring them to your house and all that. So I can't really do that. So I got introduced to online marketing through network marketing. And then fast forward, I found out that most businesses fail simply because they don't know how to get clients. Right. And that led me into the direct response marketing world. I started testing some stuff, learning some stuff, teaching it. People want to know what I was doing. Then they wanted me to coach them. And that's when I discovered like coaching was a thing. I didn't know that was like a business, a viable business. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. And people will buy your information. So I learned about information marketing. So this is all new to me. Mind you, I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out of ninth grade. Got a ninth grade education. No degrees, no certifications. I'm tatted, go all this. And I'm like, who's going to listen to me? But people was actually listening. So fast forward, we decided, okay, we're going to carve out this client attraction piece. And that's how this whole client attraction university was birthed, because we was trying to learn so many things at one time, just like most people, especially when you come into the online world. It's like so many different opportunities. It's so many different things every single day. And we decided, okay, we get really good at this, carve this out. And we just went all in on that specific niche.
Wow. Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. What is the secret? How do you do that? How do you get people to pay attention to what you are offering?
So I think the biggest thing is you have to be able to speak to, it's a couple things. So people have their aspirations and desires, right?
Okay.
And then they have their pains and challenges. You have to really be able to speak to those things in a really vivid way and explain it better than they can even explain it, right? Not just on the surface level. So, for example, let's say you sell something that helps people attain financial freedom.
Okay.
That's cool on the surface level, but like, what does financial freedom look like? So you got to really be able to peel that back 4 to 5 layers deep and like speak to that in the messaging, and that's going to, attract the people you want, and it's going to repel the people you don't want.
Yeah, and you guys do an excellent job at marketing, right? Marketing, that is like by far, you guys have developed a ability to really do that and do it well.
Thank you.
To where it's like a well-oiled machine. Can you explain what is marketing, and then what is the difference between marketing and advertising?
So marketing, advertising, marketing and advertising is kind of the same, right? So marketing, it's different types. So let's break this down. You have traditional advertising, brand advertising,
okay,
and then you have direct response advertising.
Okay.
Right? So traditional brand advertising, that's like you getting your word out. It's like billboards. It's like what you see Coca-Cola do, Nike. It's just about getting your logo out there.
Okay.
And direct response advertising is like you getting people into here. So you're giving them a direct call to action to do a specific thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Most small businesses fail because they're trying to market and do traditional brand advertising and market like a Coca-Cola, but they don't really have the budget.
Yes.
Right? So Coca-Cola, they have billions of dollars to invest in advertising.
Yeah.
A small business owner, you may have a couple thousand or whatever, maybe tens of thousands, depending on kind of where you are. But you got to really get good at like direct response advertising, direct response marketing, where you're like, you got a specific message to a specific person, and you're giving them a specific call to action to do a specific thing. So imagine if Coca-Cola said, click here to go do XYZ, or go to Coca-Cola.com to get this free thing. That would be Coca-Cola doing direct response marketing, but they don't do that.
Yeah.
They just do brand advertising marketing. They want to stay top of mind.
Okay.
You can do that in direct response marketing, but you got to be able to measure and track everything in direct response.
Okay, and so when should you know to like do which one?
I think you should always do the direct response.
Always do direct response.
It's trackable, it's measurable, you know what's working, what's not working, you know all that.
Yeah, so with your success with marketing, what would you say is something that is like, that unequivocally always works? Would you say is the direct response marketing, or is it
for sure. 100%.
Another element?
Yeah, that and really tying your authentic personality into your advertising. Because most people like they struggle with like, how do I stand out?
Yeah.
The way you stand out is being like 100% authentic and being yourself. 100%.
But what if somebody feels like they're not interesting?
I mean, they're not really selling to themselves.
That's true.
So they don't have to buy themselves, right? They're just being authentically themselves.
Okay.
And some people will resonate because people really only care about their problem and do you have the solution. They don't really care how interesting you are or how funny you are or how cute you are, pretty you are, none of that. They're like, okay, do you have the solution to my problem? If you have the solution to my problem and you can explain my problem better than I can, people will pay you. You don't really got to be interesting. Everybody's, some people are like real outgoing, exciting, over the top. Some people are more laid back in their approach. So it's like, you don't got to be outgoing.
Yeah.
Because you just be who you are and you're going to attract the people who are meant to work with you.
Yeah. I want to touch on that a little bit too, because you kind of hinted at it some. How are you able to learn and exercise, like how to what's the word I'm looking for? How to really tap in, so to speak, the actual like marketing psychology, right? The way people think, the way they internalize, the way they reason, the way they decide and choose to make decisions. How are you guys able to really like hone in on that, and why is it important?
So first of all, I'm a massive student.
Okay.
So I'm a student of marketing, advertising, psychology. I probably got a psychology degree, like without even getting a psychology degree.
Yeah.
So I'm a student. I really genuinely care about people, so I can tap in and like see what people's issues are. And I ask a lot of questions. So I ask questions, and we do a lot of testing. So we do a lot of testing, and we track everything. So we can say, okay, what worked? What didn't people respond to? What do they respond to? Why didn't they respond to this? And so we're really, really, tapped in. And you got to have a lot of empathy for people and really like care about what they got going on and not just see people, as a check.
Not for it to be transactional.
Right, for sure.
That's good, because it's kind of like, how have you been able to draw the line between business and emotion but still not lose the heart for people? How have you been able to do that?
I think you focus on service, right? How do you make money? By solving a problem. So if you focus on serving people, that's the emotional, that's the business. And if you focus on solving a problem, people will pay you. People want to pay you if you can solve a problem.
If you could solve their problem.
Yeah.
Something else you said, that you're a student, first and foremost. I've heard you say in a couple of interviews that I've watched, you believe that reading, right, is the cheat code.
100%.
Which I do agree. But what would be something in business that you would say you cannot take any shortcuts?
You can't take any shortcuts on service in business, serving people, your level of service.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Unpack it for me a little bit more.
So most people, especially we talking about client attraction and getting clients, most people think it stops at when you make the sale.
Okay.
And they drop the ball on the delivery. I mean, have you ever bought something and you're like, where my stuff at?
Yeah.
Or I haven't got a login email, the support sucks, I can't get in touch with nobody.
Yeah.
Most people, they stop there, right? And of course, we talk a lot about like premium pricing. Most people think it's all about just charging premium prices, but it's not. When you charge premium prices, you can provide an up-level service.
Sure, yeah.
So for example, if you go to the Louis Vuitton restaurant, you go to the Louis Vuitton store, they sit you in the area, they bring you champagne, you know all that. Obviously, champagne isn't expensive.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a different experience. You know what I'm saying? So you can't shortcut on service. You can make sales all day long, but the easiest person to sell is somebody who's already bought something from you.
Okay.
And the only way people is going to buy something else from you is if you've served them with the first transaction. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can't shortcut on that, and I don't think you can't shortcut on investing in yourself.
On investing in yourself.
100%.
Okay.
If you're going to continue to up-level your game, for sure.
What would you say so far with your success has been your best investment in yourself?
Coaches.
Okay.
Hiring other coaches. 100%. It's the cheat code.
Yeah.
Like books are the cheat code. Coaches accelerate that. Because I can sit and read a book and it may take me a week. Depends on the book, right?
Right.
But it's nothing like if you hired a person who wrote the book.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's a whole nother level.
What do you think makes for a good coach?
Somebody who actually does it, right? Because who actually does what they're teaching. Number one. So a lot of people who like teach but don't do, right? Number
Especially
two,
in Atlanta.
Especially in Atlanta. Number two is they actually help people get results. Because when I look for people results, I'm not looking at their results. So on the internet, you see a lot of people, they show their cars, they show their homes, they show the jewelry, they show stacks of money. All that really shows me that they can sell, they know how to make money. Doesn't really show me they can actually help people get results though.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing to be a great entrepreneur, but it's an entirely different thing to be able to teach it and can combine that. So being able to be a great entrepreneur and teach other people so they get results, it's a very rare set.
It's a skill.
Of skills.
Yeah.
Right? And we have that skill set. Some other people have that skill set. So I'm looking, okay, not only have they done this, improved it, but, have they helped other people win. And then also do our values align.
Yeah. So with having a coach, what would you say, if you can recall, was like the biggest gem that you received where it was literally a game changer? Some advice that you may have gotten.
I would say one thing right off the top of my head is like, if you want to multiply, you got to simplify. Yeah. If you want to multiply, you got to simplify.
Simplify what?
Everything. Stop trying to do. So most people think business is complicated, or online marketing is complicated, or doing a podcast is complicated. But it's really just, if you want to learn how to do a podcast, I mean, do you go watch a ton of videos? Do you go get a book to do it? Or do you just hire Niche?
Yeah.
Because she's done it. She's doing it. So it's like, and then you give the formula. Now they're like, oh my God, I thought I had to do all of this. I thought I had to get this microphone, these light set, buy a building, do this. And you're like, well, no, all you got to do is get this mic, you get this, shoot it once a week, or batch them. They're like, oh my God. So you're like, how do you simplify?
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. That's
and said another way, actually, this dude from Hewlett Packard, he said more businesses die from indigestion than starvation.
Wow.
So doing too much versus doing too little.
Wow. Being backed up.
100%.
Wow. Being backed up got you backed up. That's
100%.
Crazy.
100%.
Wow. I want to talk about something that's really interesting, because when you, like what you just said, simplifying, people overanalyze the situation or it becomes super overwhelming. But can we touch on the idea of fear and how that can make somebody be stagnant, and how they can overcome fear when it comes to like investing in themselves and choosing to pay for a service like coaching, like there's something that's very prevalent in people's minds about overcoming the fear aspect of moving forward in their business.
Right. So I think most people just don't understand fear, right? So if you don't feel, so number one, fear, false evidence appearing real, right? It's only a feeling. It's an emotion. And so I have a therapist I work with, right? And basically he talks about how the average emotion only lasts 90 seconds.
Wow.
Right. And he talks about if it goes longer than that, it's because you chose for it to go longer than that. But if you're like, okay, 90 seconds, you sit with it, and you're like, okay, I'm feeling that. Am I really in danger?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you check in with yourself. It's like, am I really in danger?
Yeah.
I'm going to be, okay, cool. I'm good. I'm just tripping. I'm going to be all right. Let me do this.
Yeah.
Or you may check in and be like, well, yeah, actually, I'm in danger. Let me chill out. So you got to just check in, right? But you can do that within the 90 seconds, and then you can move forward or not. But most people don't understand it. They think that that gut feeling is a sign that they're not supposed to do it. And that's not the case. So they justify actually not doing it.
Yeah. So are you saying that fear is a natural instant reaction?
Depending on how you frame it. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. So it's this story. It's two guys, completely different sides of town. We'll call it, since we're in Atlanta, we'll call it Decatur and East Point. The guy in East Point, he's about to, tomorrow, he has to speak, to his team members at work. He doesn't really like speaking. He's nervous, mouth is dry, hands are shaking, sweating. He's terrified, can't go to sleep. He's like, it's going to be the worst day of my life tomorrow.
Okay.
Decatur, this brother's like, hands sweating, mouth dry, shaking, can't go to sleep. He has to speak tomorrow, and he's like, tomorrow's going to be the absolute best day of my life. Because it's just framed different. Literally the same exact emotions, but it's just framed different. Even some of the top speakers. So if you think about guys like Larry King, I even heard him say, like, this dude speaks in front of millions of people. But he said even before he goes on stage, he still feels the little butterfly. And this dude been doing this thing years.
Right, it's Larry King.
Long before he was even born.
Yeah.
But he still feels that. So he can either frame that as fear, not do this, or you can frame it as excitement. So it's just totally how you frame it. And then everything you want is on the other side of fear. If fear is a thing, it's on the other side of that emotion, right? So like for me, I used to be terrified of public speaking.
Okay. Wow.
Like so much so I used to take the lower grade in school if I didn't have to like present my project.
You would sacrifice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Terrified of like, and I wasn't like a nerd in school. I was like popular, right?
Yeah,
but I was like, nah, I was just cool. I'm like, no, I'm cool. I'm doing that. Well, you frame it as cool, but I'm really like scared to do the presentation.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but now I speak in front of thousands of people, and it's fun to me.
How did you overcome that?
Well, number one, when I was in network marketing, one of my mentors used to always say, when you stand up, your check goes up.
Hey.
And she used to always tell me when she makes if she makes $20,000 a month, that's a bad month for her.
Whoa.
So her giving me that advice, when you stand up, your check goes up, it just hit different.
Yeah.
So I started reading books like Dale Carnegie, over public speaking, started learning that, and Jim Rohn, and I just started like growing myself, right? And I just realized that it was more of a confidence issue, not fear of speaking. It was how I viewed myself. So when I started to view myself differently, I wasn't really tripping on what people were saying when I hit the stage. I was just doing my thing.
Wow. So that insight on fear is a game changer. Would you say that there is still any element of where you are at now in your success journey where you can still feel that element of fear for yourself?
So I just frame it different, right? I just frame everything as I kind of go towards that feeling of like, even when I'm making
you lean into it.
Yeah. Even if I'm feeling an uneasiness, about to make a different investment, I'm about to do this, it's like, like, what's the worst that can happen?
But so with that feeling now, are you uncomfortable? Are you comfortable with that? Like basically habits, right? So like you can get into a good habit of doing something, and that's a habit, or you can obviously get into a bad habit. Would you say like you have formed the habit of being comfortable with that feeling?
Yeah, for sure.
At this point?
Yeah, for sure. And I just trust myself. So I trust myself that whatever decision I make, I'll be able to deal with like whatever happens.
Wow. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So basically, when you say whatever happens, like we said at the beginning of this interview, what has happened is that you guys have reached $500 million worth of client success stories.
Yep.
So let's talk about the concept of money, making money, what it does to a person. So how do you navigate the ability to, so when you start to make money, how do you not let it basically make you?
So I think for me, it's like so even before I came into this world, right, I was used to making money, right? So I think that helped.
Yeah.
So I post one time on social media, and I was like, you can tell the people who were like lames in school, or wasn't like making no money, all this stardom, and money is just new to them. You can look on the internet and tell. So I think a blessing for me is like I wasn't like a stranger to money. I mean, of course, it's on a whole nother level.
So it wasn't
now.
super foreign to you?
Huh? It wasn't super foreign to me.
Yeah, okay.
And I never got lost in it. So even when I was in the streets getting money, I wasn't like, I just moved different.
Yeah.
So I didn't really. Now, at one point, of course, I was used to making money. Everybody knew me for making money. So when I kind of went through my transition, of course, it hit. But it's like, okay, I can figure this out. So it's like, you got to just be conscious and not get lost in the money, because money is just paper, right? So you can't really let it make your identity. And once you understand you got a skill set, you don't you never worry about the money. You don't have to worry about the money anyway, because you can always make the money back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because I like that. So it's basically like keeping it at bay.
Yeah. Keeping
it at bay and being able to like manage the mental aspect of being successful financially.
100%. 100%.
And you're super low key guy. Like if you want to go anywhere where you want to stunt, like Atlanta,
for sure,
is the place to do that. But you're not. You don't do that.
No.
That's not your personality. That's not how you move. That's not how
I move. So it's funny. I went to my boy David. Shout out to my guy David.
Shout out to David.
David Shans is my guy. So I went to the all white alumni party, right?
Yeah.
So I go in there. First of all, I go in there. Everybody's suited and booted.
Right.
I go because I had left my event, but I threw on my all white. But I like polo, right? So I had on my polo shorts and my t-shirt and all that. Everybody was like, "Oh man, dude, like, oh my god, he ain't got no blazer or nothing." So I'm like, "This is just me." So I'm talking to this one dude, and me and him was talking, and he was like, "Man, you don't got no suits or nothing." I'm like, "Nah, not really." And then he was like, "No Lambos or Bentleys or jewelry." I'm like, "Nah." And he was like, "Well, why not?" And I was like, he was just blown away.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Why not?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't really got an answer." I was like, because he was like, in our culture, we got to show money. And I was like, "Yeah, I get it, but it's just not my style."
It's not something, but none to say you got it.
Yeah, I mean, we do it.
You're comfortable.
Right, for sure, we do it.
Well, then what would you say has been the most rewarding luxury that cash flow has afforded you?
Being able to do whatever I want to do. So if we want to, like freedom. It's the freedom for me, right? So being able to take my kids to the bus stop in the morning. This morning we went out a couple minutes late and they missed the bus.
Okay.
So I was able to jump in the truck, take them to school. That.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have to necessarily be anywhere.
Yeah.
That I don't want to be.
That's nice.
We do like quarterly trips, stuff like that. Last year we started a tradition, like every year we're gonna bring in Christmas in a different country. So last year we did Cancun. This year I think we're gonna do Costa Rica or something like that, and then every year we'll do something else and we do some quarters. So being able to show my kids, different opportunities, and it's just exposure, right? So my son yesterday, he get off of the bus, and apparently the bus broke down before the bus picked them up. So it didn't break down with them on it, but they had an issue before picking the kids up from school, and they like riding the bus.
Okay.
So he gets home, and his bus driver was like, Marquel said that he's a junior. He was like, Marquel said he's going to rent a bus for us for a couple of days. Because I guess the bus driver told him that their bus broke down, and my 8-year-old was
he said that he volunteered you.
Not him.
Oh, he's going to
rent it.
Oh, wow.
So it's just like being able to expose him to that level of thinking.
He could even think like that.
To think like that.
Wow. Right. That's incredible.
For sure.
And so doing those vacations, doing those, spending time, being intentional about spending time with your family, what would you say has been like the most rewarding aspect about being that intentional with that?
So like things like that, just the exposure. So for me,
Yeah.
growing up, my dad wasn't around. Nobody dad was around. One like two of my good buddies I grew up with, dad was around. But your dad not being around
Yeah.
was like the norm where I'm from. So just being able to be around, being able to be present, being able to pour into them what I'm learning, what I've learned, just the exposure. Because the biggest thing that took me from like the streets and fell in and all that to what I'm doing now was the exposure. Once I got the exposure, that just opened me up to a whole nother world. So just being able to expose them at a young age
Yeah.
versus like me being exposed when I was like 25, 26. Now they're 6, 8. My oldest is like 18. But just being able to expose them, I think that's the biggest thing.
And I have to commend you on that for doing that and making your family be a priority, right? Husband, father. What would you say being a father and being a husband has taught you about being a businessman?
Patience.
Okay, yeah, facts.
Patience. I
Facts,
think
facts.
that's the biggest thing. Patience. You gotta, just like in building a business and being a father, and let's be clear, being a father and a husband is way harder than building a business.
Facts.
So let's just be clear. You know what I'm saying? So if you can be a mother or a father, or a husband, or like you can definitely build a business.
Really?
It's way harder for sure.
What is so hard about parenting?
It's like you're into personal development. Parenting and husbanding is a personal development course, like in action.
Yeah, it's on the job training.
Yes, 100%. Because you can't be who you are. Like you gotta sacrifice not necessarily sacrifice yourself, but you got to be willing to grow.
Yeah.
Like
you have to be constantly in evolve mode.
100%.
Yeah, it doesn't stop.
It doesn't.
You just continue to evolve.
Bingo.
Okay, and so speaking with evolving and tapping back into the business and client attraction, was there ever a moment, because right now, being able to just roll that off your tongue, $500 million in success stories, was there ever a moment where you did feel like the business is going to fail?
No.
Never?
Nah.
Really?
Nah. I mean, because
what would you attribute that to?
If it's to be, it's up to me. Like, I come from, like, the worst. So, like, again, it goes back to, like, how I make decisions. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, I done been through a lot. Like, I come through an environment, like, I didn't know if I was going to make it home today. I could leave out my door, and I don't know if I'm going to make it home. I could be jailed, shot. I could get, you just never know. So, that's the world I come from. So, like, me coming from that world, like, I done been in jail and been around, I grew up around gangsters and murderers and been in jail with, so it's like, I come from that world. So it's like, business is sweet.
Yeah.
Compared to that.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. So you just always had that mentality that.
Yeah, for sure.
This is cake, basically.
Yeah. And for those who listen to my head, they may like, well, I didn't come from that. How do I? Well, it's like, I always tell our clients, like, you've overcome much more than a failed business.
Yeah.
You've overcome much more than somebody telling you no. You've overcome much more than your ad account getting shut down. You've overcome much more than a negative comment.
Yeah.
You've overcome much more than somebody posting something negative about you online. Like, think about all the stuff you've literally came through in your life.
Day to day.
Day to day. And you bring that into business. Business is really sweet because it's a mental game anyway.
That's true. And so with that being said, how does somebody navigate this idea of staying in something long enough and realizing when it's not working versus like letting time pass and telling you that it's not working? Like, how do you know when to get out of something because it's not working versus staying in it to see if it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So I think it really boils down to most people lean on their own understanding. So most people are trying to figure something out that they've never done on their own. That's why I always go back to hiring coaches, right? Because have you really put your all into this thing to figure out it didn't work? And you're like, well, what are you done? Well, I bought this, or I did a website, or I did it. Well, who have you hired to walk you through this process to give you a proven blueprint? But nobody was going to figure it out on my own. That's a losing game, right? So have you hired somebody to walk you through this? Because it's a formula, too. Whatever you want to be successful at, it's a formula. Like, success is a system.
Yeah.
It's not a secret.
Yeah.
You find somebody who got the system, buy the system, right?
Yeah.
Let them show you how to implement the system.
Yeah.
You implement the system.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of formulas and systems, I don't know. This is new to me. I'm new to the entrepreneur space, but like, I just keep hearing this thing about funnels. Like, how important are funnels? Are there other elements within like creating systems and stuff like that that are imperative to your business being successful?
Yeah, for sure. So a funnel, most people online have made funnels a buzzword. Right?
Okay.
So it's like you're one funnel away. All you need is a funnel. All you gotta do is hack somebody's funnel. That's the secret to success. It's all BS. Because the term funnel online, a funnel in theory is like an upside down pyramid, right? It's 4 layers of it. So people become aware of you. Some people become aware of you. Some of them you notice it gets smaller. Some of them going to be interested. Some of them are going to engage. And then some of them are going to become client. And it's obviously smaller at the bottom, the client piece, right? And your process this should be designed to wean people out for you. Okay. Everybody's not going to become a client. That's why I tell people, just be yourself. Because no matter how you try to appease to everybody, you're still not going to get everybody. So that's the process. Now, the internet has dumbed funnels down to being just pages.
Yes.
Like you go to this opt-in page and you go through this. And that's partially your funnel, but people are in your funnel before they go to your page. Yeah. So like when people watch this podcast or your podcast, whatever episode, they're automatically in your funnel before they go to niche.com or whatever the website is, right? They're already in your funnel. Even if they don't go to the site, they're in your funnel because they hit that first level. They were interested, they were aware of you.
So funnel can be intangible. It can have an intangible element within that process.
I'm going to give you an example. Before the internet, if you study like ancient advertising, like a nerd like me, how advertising was done, you didn't see a Facebook ad, you didn't go to a sales page, you would get a letter in the mail, and some people still do like direct mail. You get a letter in the mail, you read the sales letter, it's like a physical letter in your hand, you read it, and they say, hey, if you want our natural growth thing, or you want this, and the third, cut out this piece, fill it out with your card information or check, and send it back to our office. So you had to cut this thing off the sales letter, fill it out. Like, soon as you think about it. Once you went to your mailbox and you open that envelope, you're now in their what?
Funnel.
Their funnel.
Wow.
You ain't went to no page. You read the whole thing, you cut it out, you fill it out, you send it back. Now you're deeper in the funnel because now you were aware when you opened the letter. You were interested, so you read the full letter. You engaged because you cut it out. And then you sent it back with your money, so you became a client. Everybody do it? Of course not, because they typically look for like a 1 to 2% response rate, right? So it was the same thing. Like McDonald's, when you ride down the street and you see the golden arches, you're in their what?
You're in the funnel.
You're in the funnel.
Wow. And people don't even know it. They be in funnels and have no idea because they're not on a website.
And you're like, I'm hungry. Now you're hungry. You weren't hungry at first. Now you're hungry. You turn in, because their colors are designed to make you hungry.
Yeah.
You turn in. Now you're deeper in the funnel.
Wow.
You pull into the line and you're like, hey, I want to, a quarter pounder with cheese, number 4, whatever the number is. I haven't ate McDonald's in years, but whatever the number is. And then they're like, well, would you like to what? Upsize that.
Yeah,
you want to upsize that? That's an upsell. On the internet, it's an upsell, right? But that's the same thing as upsell. Well, yeah, cool. We want to shake too. All right, cool. So now you add all that on. So you're in the funnel, but you never went to a page though, right?
Wow. That's crazy. So people be in funnels all day, don't even know.
100%. The internet has just dumbed it down to just pages.
To pages on the internet. And
so the whole client attraction system that we teach is like, it's stuff, what happens before they even get to your pages. And then once they get to your pages and they opt in and they go through it, what happens after that? So it's not just the page. So some people come to us and they're like, well, I got a funnel already. Oh, I got this too. And it's like, no. It's what happens before that, what happens after that. That's all the client attraction system.
That's a bar. That is a bar. So for people who want to gain client attraction, what would be like 4 or 3 things that they like should do if they wanted to start, let's say today?
I would say number 1, get crystal clear on the problem that you solve for people. That's number 1. What's the thing? So I give you 3 even. So it's I call it the SFM method. So the S is specializing. What's the thing you specialize in? What's the thing you're gonna be the best in the world at? When people say your name, what is that synonymous with? If people got a problem that they have and they mention it, they're like, oh, Niche does that. Oh, Denver does that. Oh, Mike or Marquel. Oh, you need client. Oh, Marquel. Oh, you need. Boom. I got you. Boom. What's that thing? F. You funnelize them. Like, how do you put that client attraction system so you can take people from being a complete stranger to being a client? What kind of free value stuff can you give away? Because it's like, how do you show people you can help them? Is by actually helping them. And you help them by free.
Yeah.
So how do you take that and then funnelize them to becoming a client? And then the M is the monetization process. How do you create a premium price offer where you can charge $3,000 to $10,000 or more, where you can really serve people at a high level, and just focus on that until you at least get to $1 million a year.
Wow, that's good. And I just have to also commend you because everybody's on this whole content thing, right? You've been doing content for over a decade now.
100%.
At this point, do you still enjoy it?
Absolutely.
Really?
Because I love teaching.
Okay.
I love teaching.
Yeah.
100%.
And what percentage of your success would you contribute to content creation?
I mean, it's the core of everything that we do.
Okay.
Like, before we start, like, a lot of people know us, like, heavy in ads now because we do a ton of ads. But before we was doing ads, we were doing content. And I was literally just teaching what I was learning, right? So when I learned how to generate one lead a day, I make a video. Hey, here's how I generated a lead today. Then that would turn into like 10 leads. And I say, hey, I made this video. I want to show you how I generate 10 leads a day. Hey, I'm just using this new tool. Here's what I'm using. Hey, I just read this book. Let me share my biggest takeaway. Hey, I just watched this podcast. Let me share my biggest. So it was just content over and over and over. So yeah, we've been doing.
And with that, like you said, just being able to obtain and retain so much knowledge, right? Jam packing your brain with stuff. How have you learned when the knowledge that you've gained and implemented it into your business? And it's coasting, right? That knowledge is coasting. How do you know when it's like, okay, it's time for me to like learn something new?
I'm learning every day.
Okay.
It's always time to learn something new.
Okay.
I was listening to a training here on the way here, right? So typically when I'm in my car, I'm still into music. So I listen to music.
Yeah.
But I'm more than anything listening to. I still like trap music. I like music in general.
Yeah.
But I'm typically like earbuds, listen to an audiobook 2 times the speed.
Yeah.
I was listening to a training on the way here. Just hired a new coach. So it's always time to learn something new. And you don't really learn. I tell people you don't really learn until you implement. So you don't really learn when you consume information. You learn when you actually implement something.
That's good. So what would you say has been your biggest achievement?
My biggest achievement.
We'll break it up. Biggest achievement in your business and biggest achievement within your family relationships.
I would say my biggest achievement in business, I don't know. It's like so many, right? I mean, helping our clients do $500 million in revenue. So just helping to create, like, and we won't even got to go to the 500 million, right? But I would say our biggest achievement is like, or my biggest achievement is like getting a system that works that other people can do. And then seeing the results of all these individuals. Because when somebody hit me up and they're like, hey, Marquel, we got clients who make millions of dollars off of the stuff we taught them. Millions of dollars a month, $1 million a year, just off the stuff we taught them. We also got people who just were able to quit their job. We got people who was able to retire their spouse. We got people who make an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a month while still working a job that they enjoy. So it's like, it's no win or too small. We got a 14-year-old. He's 16 now. And he makes $1 million a year. He started working with us when he was 12. He enrolled his first client.
That's insane.
And he's like a big deal online. I know a lot of people follow him online. So when he started working with us, he was 12. I helped him enroll his first $3,000 client. And the rest was history. So being able to see those results, that's the thing that really gets me fired up.
Yeah.
So that's number one. From a family, husband and father, is really the level of exposure, being able to expose my family to different stuff, us being able to travel, us being able to, my wife is finishing up her nursing degree, being able to fund that so she can do her dream of being a nurse, exposing my kids to different opportunities and like what's possible and things like that. So
speaking of relationships and the importance of them, you're pretty verbal and outspoken about what God has done for you in your life. How would you tie in the relationship between God and business and the success of your business?
I think it's everything, right? The business in general is biblical. You know what I'm saying? So even if I'm not like a huge I'm not a Bible scholar by any stretch of the imagination, right?
The book of John today.
Right. I'm definitely not. I'm an amateur on the Bible, but even in Genesis, literally the first command God gave was like, be fruitful and multiply. Mm-hmm. That's business.
That is.
That's not just have kids. That's not just like have a lot of kids.
Boom.
Being fruitful and multiply is business. God didn't say go get a job. No shade to a job.
Yeah.
But he was like, how do you...
People out here having babies.
Huh?
People out here having babies.
For sure. Which
yeah.
it means that too,
Yeah.
but not just that.
Mm-hmm.
Be fruitful and multiply. Create something.
Mm-hmm.
Sell it.
Wow.
That's being fruitful and multiplying. You take a seed, you get a seed,
Uh-huh.
you plant a seed. Like in a seed, most people just see a seed.
Right.
Me, I see a forest of apple trees.
In the seed.
In the seed.
Wow.
You plant that seed. What do you get from a seed? You don't get a seed.
Yeah.
You get a tree.
Right.
With apples. Wow. And every apple has multiple what? Multiple seeds.
Yeah, seeds.
Now you got, let's call it 5 seeds.
Oh, that's good.
Now you go plant all 5
Yeah,
seeds. Then you grow another tree.
Mm-hmm.
You can sell apples. You can sell apple seeds.
Wow.
Or you can sell
repurpose.
Or you can sell apple juice. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's business.
Wow.
Like the Bible is biblical. But most people will tell you like, hey, Christians should be broke.
Yeah.
Christians should be this.
Yeah.
It's like you obviously don't read your Bible. Everybody in the Bible was entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Really.
Dang. That's a bar.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
right. So as we get ready to close, what are you most excited about for your future?
I'm most excited about the fact that while a lot of people always ask me like, man, what do you talk about? What is your biggest lessons from you becoming successful and all this? It's like what I'm most excited about is I'm just getting warmed up.
Because I was going to ask you that. Do you feel like you're in your prime, or this is like
just getting warmed
scratching the surface?
Just getting warmed
really?
up.
500 mil?
Yeah.
This is getting warmed up?
It's just getting warmed up.
Wow.
We just,
so at the peak of your success, what does that look like?
The peak of my success. I'm not sure. So I know that probably sound crazy.
Yeah.
But so I'm not sure. Success to me is having a big vision, and then every day waking up, working towards that. So this is coming to do this podcast interview is success to me because now somebody's going to hear this.
Yeah.
And it's going to impact somebody, even if it's just one person.
Yeah.
That now this person goes out. I don't know. We may not never ever meet, right? But they'll go out and they're like, I heard this one thing this guy Marquel said on Nisha's podcast, and that was the thing that made me go harder.
Yeah, that's what Pac says, something like that. Like, I may not change the world, but I could spark the brain who might.
Bingo.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Same
so
kind
it's
of
like
vibe.
I got a big vision. So it's not like we're gonna say okay, we're gonna build multi-billion dollars, but it's not to become billionaires.
Yeah.
Right. It's part of it, but who do you have to be a billionaire? And not only I don't want to be this guy who's a billionaire, but sacrifice health, sacrifice family, sacrifice kids. Because some people tell you like you're gonna be a billionaire, you gotta sacrifice everything. It's like I think that's partially true, but I also don't think that's the only way to do it, right? I think you can build it. I think you can have it all. I think you have great health. You can make billions. You can have a healthy relationship with your spouse. You can have a healthy relationship with your kids, with your friends. Travel well. I think you can have it all. So
yeah, wow. Well, I have gotten more than enough encouragement, inspiration, tools, techniques
for sure
to feel successful in pursuing my business endeavors. I just thank you so much for coming on. Your knowledge, your gems are timeless.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you. And if people want to if they want to be, they're attracted, you know.
Right, for sure.
by
They're
what you have to
right?
offer. Yeah, they're interested now, and they want to dig deeper and to grow their client attraction and their own businesses. How can they do that with you guys?
So I would say, I got a free gift. So if you're a coach or a consultant and you want to get more clients, or course creator and you want to get more clients, simply go to paidadplaybook.com. So just paidadplaybook, PAID, adplaybook.com. And you get our full paid ad playbook. It shows you how to get 50 to 100 leads every single day that convert into clients. And you get some other free goodies as well. And I'm on Instagram. My Instagram is Marquel Russell, MarQuel, RUSSELL. And if you come over there and connect with me and send me a direct message, and let me know you saw me on Nisha's podcast, I do give you another free gift just for reaching out and connecting.
Appreciate it. Yeah, there it is right there. Well, I thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
I wish you continued success.
Thank you.
Godspeed in all that you do. You're already making strides. You're already clearly doing well.
I appreciate it.
So yeah, I just wish you the very best. Thank you so much for coming on. If you guys feel something that resonated with you in his particular niche and you want to kind of utilize these tools And anything that you may need, definitely reach out to him. He is the go-to guy for client attraction.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, so thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Success.